Hey everybody, how you doing? One of the main reasons that we bought our farm and moved out here is to have a better place for our horses. We were in a really good situation. They were being boarded, but it was quite expensive. So we ended up coming out here to the farm, and it's really cool because we get to really care for our horses the way we want to take care of them. They were getting great care before, but there's no back and forth with the folks about I'd like you to do this or that. It's all what we take care of. And when we moved out here, we didn't have a barn, so we had to make some quick decisions and choices to get the horses out here and stop paying board. So one of the things we did is we purchased this metal run-in, and then we converted it into feeding stalls for when we feed the horses, just to keep them separate while they eat. It keeps everybody from pushing each other off their food. Now I'm going to take you over there. I'm going to turn the camera around and take you over there and talk about some things that we did and how we put it together, and what we did good and what we could have done better. So once again, this run-in, we purchased the metal components, and I'll throw a quick picture in there so you can see it when it was being put together. And we kind of put it up on the high side of the pasture. Number one, to give the horses a place to get out of the weather, and then also for them to eat. So we first started putting together just this 2-rail fence with 4x4s. Well, we quickly learned that that the horses would always lean over it and bite each other as soon as they got done with their food. So we went ahead and put these higher rails that you can see on here, and so now they can't get over each other and bother each other when they're having their meals. So we've got it divided into 4, and I'll just quickly walk around here so you can see what it looks like. That's Mr. Santistal. It's a little easier to see it here. So we went ahead and put those added boards on, and now over time it's been working really well for us, and it's a real good stopgap until we get the barn put together. But one of the biggest problems that we're having right now is our horses are big, our draft horses. In fact, I'll zoom over here and you can see Pepper and Zico. They're probably 16 and 1,800 pounds. Pepper's 1,600, Zico's about 1,800, and they always lean against the stall. So these latches that we put in are getting beat up pretty good. You can see this one is bent up. That's actually Bo's latch, but they do get beat up. Here's our inspector. The farm inspector's here checking things out. So today we're replacing those latches. There you can see Mr. Bo came inside out of the sun. One thing that we wish that we did differently is, if you look, we put those top rails on to keep them from reaching over and bite each other, but they still try to reach through the bottom. So we'll think about putting one more rail, you know, kind of right here. It just depends. We'll see what goes on. And replacing the gate hinges was really a 4-handed job, so I couldn't really run the video camera while we did it. But here you can see the new latches, and they work great. So they're at least twice as thick as the old latches, so they're very strong, and they can handle horses leaning against them. We put this together with these pickets, and you can see they're starting to get beat up a little bit. Things are starting to crack, and the hinges aren't lined up exactly right on the board. So it's a little bit of cobbled together but it's what we found to get us there. The other thing that I wish we had really done is, if you look here, we've got all the boards facing to the outside, and that's a real problem when you've got horses leaning in against it. So lesson number one on horses is always put the boards on the horse side so they can lean against them. And if you look at our fence there, you can see that the top rail is on the horse side so they can't push through it and pop the board off. So lesson learned here, and if they've got some antics going on, they will loosen these boards. So we've gotten where two horses will get into the stall and then they start fussing over who knows what, over horse stuff, and it's a little bit of a problem. And there's the little Miss Daisy inspecting again, and you can see these guys will go get in the shade here. Sometimes they don't even go in. They'll just go ahead and grab some shade on the side. And Bo's the dominant lead horse of the pack or the herd, so he's inside there just taking it easy, and he doesn't let Mr. Zico come inside. That's his space and he's kind of claiming it. So it works for us, at least until we get the barn going. We've been pretty happy with it. We'll see what we do when the time comes and we get the barn done, whether we'll go ahead and dismantle the feeding stalls or leave them in there and just leave it as a run-in, or perhaps just take the middle pieces down so they can get in there and move around. Just lots of possibilities, and it all comes with time, I guess.